morning and welcome to Art at Home with Miss Beth. And today we're going to do something with perspective. Anybody know what perspective is? Okay, perspective is actually the illusion of depth and space. And if we do a little bit of history with it, it was invented in 1415 by Italian Renaissance architect Filippo Brunelleschi. And they had been working really hard to make the thing make sense. And because he's an architect and he's working with buildings, he took that all into consideration. And what he did, he ended up finding a vanishing point. And a vanishing point is just a fixed single point where all of your parallel lines converge. And it's like a calculated depth so that you're going to be able to see this flat piece of paper all of a sudden come to life and have three-dimensional qualities. They struggled with it with early Christian art. A lot of times the parallel lines would just be parallel. There was no converging, so that it just didn't read correctly. And also they would put people into architect spaces, and the buildings themselves they would put in perspective, but the people never fit. They were like monstrous superheroes inside these tiny little architect things. So anyway, Brunelleschi did an awesome job giving us the ability to see space on a flat surface. So what we are going to do today, we are going to work with perspective. So we are going to need a vanishing point. We need a horizon, which is just the line that goes across, like where the sun would set. We need our parallel lines, our vertical lines, and our horizontal lines. And we're actually going to talk a tiny bit about atmospheric perspective. So when you're looking out your window, typically in order for it to read correctly, you have things that are in your foreground. Foreground are things that are closest to you. You have a middle ground where probably most of your information is. And then you have way in the distance, you have a background. And that's furthest from you. Anything farther back gets smaller as it goes. And that's why that horizon really works. That vanishing point and the converging lines. So you will need pencil, ruler. If you don't have a ruler, use a straight edge. I've got a piece of cardboard here too that I like to use as an edge. Doesn't look like my papers are very even. And I like to eyeball things as I go. So you could do a 1-point interior. You could do something of your bedroom or living room kitchen, or you can do an exterior. I'm going to show you interior first. So with an interior, we're going to start out with our horizon. So I'm going to, and I am eyeballing it. We want it to be very, very straight across here. Okay, and then once we get that, we're going to draw the back wall. So we're going to put in a very nice rectangle, square. Let's do a rectangle. I do like that. And then I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to do another. I'm just making, see, for me, I'm looking here to make sure that it's exactly the same. And then I'm going to go up and down. And a lot of times too, I'm eyeballing the sides. You could use your ruler to measure, because that is what a ruler is for. But most times I like to just eyeball it. And the more you do, the more you're able to do that. Okay, so I have a horizontal line and I have my back wall. I need my vanishing point. My vanishing point, remember, is where all my lines are going to converge. And I think I'm going to put it here. There it is. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to take our vanishing point and we're going to extend the corners. Because if you look at your room, you have lines that create your ceiling and you've got lines that create your floor. So take your ruler, there's your dot, drag it to the very corner of your ceiling. You could draw the whole thing. I'm just going to draw it from here, and there's less erasing. One of my ceilings, so I've got my dot and I've got my corner. There's my other part of my ceiling, and then I'm going to do the bottom. So I need this corner and my vanishing point. And then I've got one more corner here and my vanishing point. And it's gonna go a little further there. Okay, so I have wall, wall, floor, ceiling. Ta-da! Let's pretend we want a window over here. So any information here and here has to use our vanishing point. Any information here or here also will use our vanishing point. The rectangle back here, it will stay just like it is. Everything will be horizontal and vertical. So let's do a window here. There's my dot. I'm going to make a line for the top of my window. And this won't be a very detailed window. It's just going to be like a rectangle for now. I'm using that to make the bottom of my window. Let's make it about there. Okay. And then the important thing is the lines to connect the sides of your window have to be very, very vertical. Ta-da. That is my window. Okay. That is done in perspective. I'm going to show you on the other side a window that's not in perspective. And this is what a lot of people will do. And a lot of the early artists did this as well because they just weren't sure how to do it. Let's say that you do know that you're going to use your vanishing point to get the bottom. And you're going to use the vanishing point to get the top. But let's say that we're not real sure how to do this, and I do my window like this, and then this. Do you see the difference in these two? This one is in perspective, this one is wonky and wrong. It's off. The two lines I did here are not vertical. So we need them to be vertical in order to read correctly. So I'm eyeballing. You can use your ruler to measure better. Ta-da. Then I erase. Because that's not right. And that's not right. And there's your inside. Okay. Oh, much better. Okay. Even though I think they're different levels. Let's put a bed here. Shall we do that? Okay. Now your bed, if it's up against the wall, is going to come, I have to use my vanishing point. I'm going to do like this. And then I'm going to go, let's see how big I want this bed to be. It's here. Maybe that can be the bottom. And then I need to make this straight across. And this will come like so. And then I've got that little corner of the bed. Since I made that, this is pretty big. We could end it. If we end it, it's going to just go off the page. And so this line, and this is very vertical, and it'll go off the page as well. And then I'm going to just erase some of this. And they're harsh lines right now. You can go back and soften them, but in order for it to read in perspective, this is what we do. You could put a pillow, but your pillow still is going to have to be in perspective. Like so. I'm just going to erase this little corner. So I eyeballed it, but if you see, that's the same, and that's the same really. And these can round down. They don't have to be so harsh. And this can round as well. Okay, let's see. If you put any information, let's pretend you have a poster on the back wall or maybe some art. This back wall, everything is just going to be vertical and horizontal. You're not using the vanishing point for your back wall at all. Okay. And maybe you've got a flower here, football player, something on the back. Okay. If you have a rug, let's put a rug down here. I have to use for the floor, I have to use that. And maybe it goes right up against your bed. Ooh, I better erase that. That was not my intention. And then you make this one very, very horizontal. If you make mistakes, you will see that it doesn't look correct. And maybe mine, if it ends down here, it's going to be another very horizontal. Rug, bed, windows, art. This could be your bedroom. You can add so much more to it, but I want to show you an exterior very quickly. First, we need our horizontal. And that's what I was saying, if you wanted to measure down, let's say that I put my ruler down and I go to the, I'm going to do it over here. My ruler's not very big. Oh, let's do 4 down. Then I'm going to go here and do another 4. And then I connect. This is just another way to do it. So we're going to have a horizon. Decently enough, I think. And then you're going to put your vanishing point. This is where all your lines are going to converge. I'm going to do it here. It can be anywhere on here. We're going to make a road in our foreground. So I'm going to take my dot and I'm going to go bam, and it's right up against there. Okay, let's pretend anything back here. This is like one of the last things I do, but I'm going to do it right now. If you want hills or if you want big city, everything is going to be very vertical and very horizontal. If you're just wanting some hills back here, you can just lay them on in like so. Done. Let's put a house over here. So if there's a house on this side or on this side, you have to use your vanishing point. So I'm going to go that way for the bottom of the house. And then I'm going to go this way. So I'm using that vanishing point. Now when I connect up, everything is vertical. Vertical and vertical. Yes. So this is a part of the house that's going to be very, very, it's like the part that you see straight on. It's going to go like that. And then like that. Let me a little higher up. Okay. If I have a roof, I'm using this to get the top of my roof. I'm going to, and I'm going about to the center of that. Then this, we have a slanted roof. So it's matched up to that. It's over your horizon. And since this part is straight on, I'm just going to go, I might make it go in a little bit more. Up to the top, and then down. And if I make it longer like that, let's change it up a little. We take this, and then that can be a little bit better. Okay. It's kind of sticking off a little. Maybe I'll make it a little longer. So if we wanted to have a door added to your, let's make this one just a little bit bigger. Okay. If we wanted to have windows and doors on this side, we need to use our vanishing point. And I'm going to go like this. Maybe it's a series of windows. And then I have to make this one very, very vertical so that it reads correctly. If we put a door here, I'm going to show you an incorrect way to do it. Let's say that we decided it needed to be, we angle it. How does that look? Yeah, that just is not correct at all. So these lines have to be vertical. So if I go in, I'm going to go vertical, vertical. Erase these others because it doesn't work. Anything over here, let's just put a window. Anything over here is going to just use your vertical and your horizontals. So we have no parallels over here. Nothing over here will read to that dot. Let's say we want a sidewalk, okay? Our sidewalk is going to be like a horizontal. So I'm going to take the edge, because it's going to run this way. Sidewalk. Sidewalk. If I have lines on my sidewalk, they have to read with my vanishing point. There and there. Done. If you had a huge building over here, which I don't think I would really want next to my house, but let's just say we want a big building, you're still using your vanishing point to get the top of your building. And then you're going to use the vanishing point to get the bottom of your building. And then to match them up, we have to use, yep, you're right, that vertical line. And then this would all erase. You could add anything you add to the building itself has to use the vanishing. If you made a sidewalk, you would end up doing a horizontal line as well. And if you have, if this is like a highway, your lines, the further away it is, the smaller the lines. And as it gradually gets closer to you, the lines get bigger. See how long? A little smaller, little smaller, little smaller. Tink, tink. And this one is probably teeny tiny. Okay. This is a 1 point exterior. So you can do interior, you can do exterior, and next time we're going to maybe work on a 2 point perspective, which is a lot more difficult. So you'll have 2 vanishing points. So all the information comes out here. And it's like if you were doing an interior 2 point, it'd be like looking at the corner of your room, and then everything would converge that way. So we can try that again. Just work with this, but just remember to keep your horizontals horizontal, your verticals vertical, and all these emerging, these converging lines from your vanishing point have to be very parallel. Okay, have fun with this. Shading is another thing that would add a lot of fun. Darker here with atmospheric perspective, it gets lighter as you go into the background. So I would love to see what you guys are doing. I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care.